Hello YouTubers, this is Cessna Ace back again with another My Comic Book Collection 30 More Comics video. Now I have pulled 30 comics that were already a part of my collection, and I received a package recently. Well, it technically was the day before yesterday because it's 4:53 in the morning. But I received 5 comics in the mail, and it just so happens that 2 of them I will be able to show you first thing because of where they fall in the alphabet. Now, I've already read, in case you're wondering, all of the comics that came in with that shipment. I'm trying to keep up as far as what comes in. However, as I believe I've mentioned in a previous video, I've got a box that I sort incoming comics into, and that way I can keep them separated from what I've already sorted, of my collection. Anyway, not counting these 2 that I'm about to show you, I have 41 comics in there, and I've been going a little bit crazy, so a lot more comics are going to be coming in. I did another update at Patreon/CessnaAce, link in the description box. Well, tonight I went and ordered 21 more comics. So, the total list is up now to over 200. Now, tonight I ordered some comics via eBay. I also ordered some from IDW directly, also from Things from Another World, also more comics from Radio Comics, and some from Indie Planet. I mentioned previously that I was going to get back into ordering print-on-demand comics from Indie Planet, and I have done so. Alright, I need to shout out Patreon supporter before I get started, and as I haven't done it in a few videos for this particular patron, Andrew JM. That is right, isn't it? Yes, Andrew JM. All right. So if you want to see everything that I've got coming, all 200 plus things I've got coming, the link to Patreon/CessnaAce is in the description box, along with a list of all of my patrons and a rundown of all of the publishers covered in this video. Now, as I believe I mentioned, the first 2 that you will be seeing came in the other day. This is a follow-up from Archie Comics to a miniseries they published 10 years ago called Archie the Married Life. Now, in that series, Archie married Betty, and in a separate storyline, Veronica. This is Archie the Married Life 10th anniversary. Now, as it explains at the beginning of the first issue, this being the first issue, 1 year into Archie's marriage with Veronica, they had twins. 1 year into his marriage with Betty, they had twins. So, this being 10 years later, their twins are now 9. Now, this is cover variation, or variant, however you want to say it, C. This is cover E. I kind of like this one. I usually go through and select 2 of my favorite cover variations to order. Now, the 2 wedding bands there, one has Betty and Archie, and the other one has Veronica and Archie. It's amazing how different the stories turned out with Betty and with Veronica. You know, those 2 storylines. Some of the older characters haven't survived, the 10-year period, whereas that's in one story arc, and the other they have. This is a 6-issue miniseries, and it was written by the same person who wrote the original series 10 years ago. Alright, switching now to Boom Studios. Unfortunately, you know what? I was going to say unfortunately, but not unfortunately, because where I left off last time, I had already shown issues of this series. This is issue 17 of Big Trouble in Little China. I've been getting a lot of comics in from, or published by Archaia, which is an imprint of Boom Studios. Right, that was issue 17. This is issue 18. Of course, the original film this is based on starred Kurt Russell. '19. '20. 21. 22. 23. 24. I have a run going. And the final issue in my collection, 25. Now, to one of my comic book videos, I think it was my most recent one, the one just prior to this one, C110 commented, well, he made a comment about my showing magazine ads. And it just so happens I have 2 bags worth of magazines that I bought some as far back as 2 or 3 years ago, but they're still in the bag because I haven't gotten to them yet. So I might do that, but as I mentioned to C110, Patreon supporters get the privilege of requesting what kind of videos I do. Now, I did put a poll in the community section of my channel asking if I should add my wish list of issues that I'm looking for to the posts that I make on Patreon. And, well, so far, one person has voted in that poll and they said yes. Now, this is the Bionic Man. My collection starts with issue 15. And yes, I took into account when I counted them, that I have 2 copies of this cover variation. However, this counts as a separate comic because it's a different cover. Same issue, different cover. That threw me off. Okay, issue 17. And I did that with tonight's post. Added a wish list section. Issue 18. But as I mentioned in that post, it's only a small sliver of what I'm needing, and also I will not list any issues that I need in the titles that I have in my collection that are adult oriented. 19. Also, as I also mentioned the C110, I am looking for foreign comics. They don't have to be in English, but Canadian comics, I have an interest in that. So 20. Talking about Canadian comics that haven't been published here or released here. 23. Now we go from the Bionic Man to the Bionic Woman. Or, like with the Bionic Man, we don't start at the beginning. This is issue 7. Eight. Nine. And we switch to a follow-up series, The Bionic Woman Season 4. I only have one issue though, and that's issue 2. Go figure. Alright, this is based on a true story. Billy the Kid. I don't remember offhand who published this. It amazes me as I was adding things to my wish list how many series I have in my collection that aren't in the price guide. Anyway, this was published by Boneyard Press. The full title is Billy the Kid, the Cowboy Psycho. Mature readers. This came out in '93. The cover price of $3.25 in the US, $4.50 in Canada. Now, This title reminds me of a post that I made not too long ago at Patreon/Cessnays that was not a patron-only post. It was public. This is issue 38 of Birds of Prey. And what I did was post a clip video that I found of all of the flying sequences in a made-for-TV movie from 1973 called Birds of Prey. And basically, you had a set of bank robbers who took a hostage. They wound up being chased by the police and from the air by a traffic reporter for a local radio station flying his helicopter, or their helicopter. Anyway, they switched to a helicopter, and then the chase is on. And for a made-for-TV movie, the flying sequences in that movie, starring David Janssen, are really amazing. All right, 40. So I think I missed an issue there in my collection. '41. I believe I've made 111 posts at Patreon/Cessnays now. Approximately 10% are public. The majority of them are patron exclusive. 43. All right. Issue 1 from DC of Black Condor. It's the only issue I have, but it is the first. Okay, comic book bags are slippery, and this stack is trying to slip right off the ledge. Issue 6 of Black Hawk, also from DC. We switch from Black Hawk to Black Panther, Black and White, Chapter 2. This is issue 52 of Black Panther. Next we have issue 1 of Black Panther and the Crew. And finally, for this video, from, I think that's Continuity Comics, issue 4 of The Blade of Shuriken. One way to find out. I think it's Continuity Comics. I'm wrong. It's not a C, it's an E. Eternity Comics. I have issues of comics from Continuity, I'm sure. And as I periodically do, with this most recent post that I made at Patreon/Cessnays, I added my mailing address for those who wish to mail me their wish lists, in case they want to engage in trading. Like I said, I have that poll that I put up last night in the community section of my channel on whether or not I should engage in if I should engage in trading. I did consider making that the poll. But what I made it was, should I add my wish list to my posts? Some of my posts anyway. And like I said, one person has voted so far and they voted yes. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, Mr. Blabbermouth. Until next time, stay awesome.